And I want us to have a short quick fire session.
Yes.
Is Oka united?
Oka is united. You have even seen, we couldn't come here, all of us, and stand before that multitude of journalists from various media houses just for showbiz. It is an act and a demonstration of real unity of Oka. We communicate with each other every day. Even on Christmas Day, we call each other. On New Year's Day, we call each other. You remember on 2nd of January, Jironga and I were being hosted by Steve for lunch. Musalia was away in Mombasa. Gideon was away in Zanzibar. We would have been together. We are united. We are intact.
But there is this notion that even in trying to come out and show unity in front of the cameras, there is a lot of infighting even behind the scenes, including the meeting that you had yesterday at the SKM Command Center.
Yes. There was absolutely no point of divergence, as far as I know, and as far as I'm aware. Yesterday, we were to have a meeting at SKM Center. Indeed, we had a meeting, but not a full meeting, for the simple reason that our colleague Gideon Moi was attending to his brother who was indisposed. So he sought an apology, but he sent his full team. I was there, Musalia was there, Jirongo was busy with something else in Westlands. He sent his apology. And we had a meeting that resulted into this morning's meeting. And you can see as an outcome of yesterday's meeting, you had a full house. So where is the disharmony? I don't see any.
I'm asking this because there are...
Yes. What is it you know that I don't know? Yes.
There is this thinking that there is a probability that you and Musalia Mudavadi are being courted by Deputy President William Ruto, and it is not a matter of if but when you will leave the One Kenya Alliance and join William Ruto.
You know, politics is an engagement of high speculation, very high density rumors, and all manner of things. People say things without any iota of evidence, without any foundation. We also hear them. We hear them, either they're born out of people who would wish us to work with the Deputy President William Ruto without us willing to do that, or it is about people who are just destructively speculative. Because we read this in the media. We read in the media that Musalia and I are deeply engaged. We read in the media that Jirongo is already gone to Azimio. We read in the media that Gideon is very partial in dealing with us and is very close to Azimio. We read in the media all manner of things. You just asked Steve Kalonzo there about his alleged engagement with Raila Odinga. The truth is, these are statements being churned out with a hope that they will destabilize Oka. And I want to tell you that they will not succeed. Remember this. Freedom of association is sacrosanct in our Constitution. Freedom of choice is sacrosanct in our Constitution. Let nobody force us to associate with somebody. Let nobody force us to choose somebody. Because even as you say, politics is the art of the impossible, as Shakespeare put it. And, you know, to quote from the most unlikely source, Eliud Kipchoge said, no human is limited. I would want to believe that no politician is limited either. People will always look at the formations in Kenya. Everybody has worked with somebody. If that is what people are speculating to create, then they should be asked. As we founded Oka. Oka was founded in Kabuchai, in Matungu, and in Machakos by-elections. We have seen no strange happening that can destabilize us. And I think with all these things that have been going on, Kennedy, you and your colleagues can see that even as they say Gideon Moi is headed elsewhere, whenever we have meetings, he's the first to arrive. If that is not a commitment, I don't know what it is. Nobody misses meetings. Everybody's there. Everybody contributes. What we tell the media, of course, is much, much less than what we discuss deeply when we are together. We are working on how to arrive at a presidential candidate. But remember that in life, anything can happen. I may collapse and die. So for Kenya leadership in Oka, we'll have to rethink their position, either create another principle or do what they want. And it can happen to any one of us. But as it is today, Kalonzo Musyoka, Musalia Mudavadi, yours truly here, Gideon Moya and Jirongo, we are together.
So who is this who is trying to create a notion? And just to be very blunt,
yes,
can Moses Masika Wetangula work with William Ruto towards 2022?
You know that answer cannot be a yes or a no. When we formed Oka, we said this. We want to create a movement that will capture the imagination of Kenyans, that will be the face of Kenya. We also said that our doors are open to anybody and everybody of goodwill for this country. To that extent, Oka, acting as one, is ready and willing to allow any other formation to join it or engage any other formation for the good of this country. It is not about Moses Masika Wetangula, party leader for Kenya. It's about Oka. Because we must have some principles. We must have some commitment. We must have some tenets of behavior that are consistent with trust with others. We come together as one. So for us to make a decision as Oka, it must be a unanimous decision from all of us. It will not be a personal decision. I doubt if it will be a Kalonzo personal decision. Of course, in politics, everybody's trying to catch up with somebody. I personally haven't talked to William Ruto about what you're asking me about, but I hear speculation through the media, how they wish they would have me working with them, how they wish they would have Kalonzo working with them. Everybody wants to grow bigger, and we as Oka, we want to grow bigger by inviting Azimio to join us if they will find it necessary, by inviting even if the DP finds that the future of this country lies in Oka, and he joins in as one of the members, we have no difficulty with that.
So basically what you're saying is that the only way this can work is whether they want to join you, not you joining them.
Whether they want to join us, and in any such situation, there must be a negotiated and structured manner that takes into account the interests of all my colleagues that we are working with. None of us will move out of Oka to go and engage in negotiations on your own. Then you cease being Oka. Because we have a collective duty, a collective responsibility, and a collective unity to work together.
So if for any deal to be made, it has to include all the Oka leadership.
Oka has made it very clear. Our doors are open to anybody and everybody of goodwill and who has an interest of this country at their hearts. To that extent, yes.
Has William Ruto reached out to you personally?
No, he hasn't. I can't remember when I last spoke to William Ruto. It's probably a couple of months, and it was not on politics. So I can't tell you that he has reached out to me to say, let's work together. He hasn't. But I've seen him make statements in public when he has been touring Western. I've seen him putting rhetorical questions to the crowd, asking them, do you want me? Of course, he recognizes, and rightly so, that the gatekeepers of the Mlembe nation is myself and Musalia Mudavadi. And I've heard him say not once, not twice, not thrice, to the people at would you wish your leaders to work with me?
Nauliza nyinyi watu wa hapa Butali, mnataka Musalia afanye na kitendawili ama afanye na mimi?
And of course the crowd has resoundingly told him We would want to see that.
Then basically that means that
That
he's seen an
crowd,
opportunity.
I'm sure he's no fool. He's a shrewd politician. When he sees an opportunity, he'll grab it. The numbers of the Mlembe nation are big. The gatekeepers of those numbers are known. The people who carry the aspirations, the hope, and the trust of the Mlembe nation are known. And any politician who is sufficiently shrewd and understands the politics of this country will not engage in the shenanigans that we saw on 31st of December in Bohungu and think you are getting the Mlembe nation. It will not work.
So what do you make of these statements that he makes when he asks these rhetorical questions to the people? When he asks, do you want me to work with Musalia Mudavadi? Do you want me to work with Moses Wetangula? What do you make of such questions? When the people respond, yes.
I do not want to read his mind, but I would want to imagine that he's trying to drum up a situation where he can attract our attention. He's trying to drum up a situation where in the old days it's always been said where the leaders don't lead, those they lead can lead them. Probably wants to apply public psychology. But you know, we are mature politicians. We have been on this scene for so long, Kennedy. When I went to Parliament, probably you are in Standard 1. And this long period, even if it's not for anything else, must have given me some experience, must have given me the capacity to study and learn people, must have given me the experience to see through people, must have given me the experience to know where my interests and the interests of the people I represent can best be served. So these are all things that one has to consider in engaging with anybody. That William Ruto stands up on platforms, public platforms, and asks people, would you allow me to work with Weta? Would you allow me to work with Mudavadi? Tells you that he understands and appreciates the clout that we hold, not just limited to our community, but in the country. Everybody's looking for good people to work with. And when somebody says that, even if you don't agree with him, but you say, at least he knows my value.
Now that this person knows your value, and the other place where you left, that is the National Super Alliance, you've already said you're not ready to go there, to go back there. If this person understands your value, is he a person that you would consider working with?
You know, I have said to myself repeatedly that I don't want to play the biblical Lot's wife syndrome, where you have been told as you walk, or don't look back, and you look back and you suffer the consequences. I have worked not once, but twice with the Honorable Raila Odinga. We have sacrificed immensely in 2013 and 2017. 2013 with Kalonzo, 2017 with Kalonzo and Musalia. What came out of that hard work and the sacrifices we made is public knowledge. So all those teach us lessons, gives us experiences, and makes us wiser when we engage. Like I said, in politics, you never say never. But I certainly, I feel nervous to imagine a situation where I can find myself in the 2013 situation or 2017 situation, where you make major sacrifices and even something as simple as political parties' funds that are legitimately due to your party are turned into a political gimmick and a discretion that is unavailable to those exercising it when dealing with you. Of course, it tells you what people think of you. And it all leads to a situation where if we engage, then I'll be wiser, I'll be extra careful, and I'll make sure the dotted line on which I may sign an agreement or an MOU must be clearer than it previously was.
Do you believe that the current law being voted on and debated in Parliament right now is something that will help in these coalitions formations moving forward?
I participated in the thinking and the formulation of this current law under debate, to the extent that I lent out my technical team, so did many other political parties do, to sit together and seek advice as they go along, to think of, one, how do we avoid a situation of deceit? How do we avoid a situation of distrust? How do we avoid a situation of outright cheating by one party over the other when you join a coalition? So this law attempts to cure that. Of course, it's not a law until it goes through all the stages of parliament, ends up in the Senate, and is ascended to by the president. Then it becomes part of our law. If it goes through the mill and the oven in the context within which it was envisaged, then it will, in a very substantial way, cure the levels of deceit that we've witnessed in CORD and NASA, which has given very valuable lessons to formation of future coalitions. That one, when you come together as parties to pursue a common political agenda and political interest, it should never be founded on personal relationships. It should never be founded on personal friendships. Of course, the personal chemistry between the coalition partners is important, but never be too trusting until and unless that trust is buttressed by the letter and spirit of an existing law, so that even as the mighty can overrun the weak, but the weak have a fortress in the application of the law. So that is a good thing. And further to that, then it is the source of all evil, money. It is money that put Jesus to death. Without money, Judas Iscariot would never have betrayed Jesus. That was the motivation. And the source of all evil being money, we must even be more careful when we put any pen to paper in terms of agreeing on a coalition structure, that where money is involved, then we should be extra careful. That my sweat, and I've had some upstart politicians, particularly within ODM, making some very reckless statements against the former partners of the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, how we contributed very little or contributed nothing at all. But we know that our contributions were major. Our parties made sacrifices. In a coalition where one party is the producer of the presidential candidate, that automatically gives that party a headed advantage. But we all played a key role. You know, politics in this country is about regions, about communities, about individuals. And when individuals have happen to have a sway on regions or communities, their importance is even more enhanced. So we want a situation where, again, buttressed by the law, that whatever little you put in, you are entitled to just returns. Whatever much you put in, you are also entitled to just returns. Should be no room where anybody on his own can arrogantly evaluate your input and say, you contributed nothing, you are worth nothing, you get nothing. You get the point? So, and that's what this law being debated is likely to cure.
You speak so passionately about this law, and probably you've even asked your members to support. But there's the other side to it, where Deputy President William Ruto, even in trying to woo you to create a coalition with you, says that he is ready to form a coalition without a law, saying that he is not dishonest. Do you believe in such a statement?
There is no human being who is inherently dishonest. It is situations that make people dishonest. And one such bad situation that makes people dishonest is in the presence of money and in the presence of power, or both. That's when you see the true likeness of people. You can be very good friends when you are sharing nothing. And the greed in people is manifested when there's something to share. Power, money. We've seen it with ODM. when we were campaigning as CORD, when we were campaigning as NASA, the clarion call and the reference to each other was my brother, my brother, my brother. When the man arrived, we stopped being brothers. We stopped being brothers. We became irritants. We became a nuisance. And that's what we must cure, you know, so that nobody rides on your back, and as soon as they cross the Rubicon, they think you are useless. You can as well perish in the Rubicon.
So we must bring sanity.
We must bring sanity. And since Kenyans have demonstrated over and over that their word in the arena of politics means very little, there's more reason why we must police this with the law. Because the law is the shield for the weak. The law is the fortress for the weak. And if you allow those who feel like they are Goliaths in this political arena to trample upon everybody, then we will not have society.
What would be your message to Ruto? I know you've said that he's not reached out to you formally, but he has done so knowing your worth as you have already accepted.
Yes.
What
Yes.
will be your message to him now that he is publicly wooing you?
Why him? Even Raila has been trying to woo us.
But this one has already been very
Yes.
explicit, even in his tour. He's on an 8-day tour of Western Kenya.
Yes.
He believes that the two of you...
The message to him is very clear that coalitions are formed by people who come together, sit together, talk together, and form those coalitions. Number one. Number two, the law in this country does not allow one to belong to more than one coalition. I am in the Oka coalition. It has not been registered yet, but we are in the process of finalizing our memorandum of the coalition and signing and depositing with the Registrar of Political Parties. Once we do that, we become a formal, legal, legitimate coalition. Now, once you're in a coalition, anybody who wants to deal with you must deal with you as a coalition. Three, William Ruto reaching out to any one of us in the political arena is nothing strange. We're also reaching out to people and asking them to join us. I have just in this interview told you that we don't mind him or Raila coming to join Oka. We'll be bigger, we'll have better chances of taking the stewardship of this country. So for anybody who goes out of their way to ask so-and-so or so-and-so, including myself, to join them, you give them their dues, that it is their right to think that you are worth joining them, and you can tell them no thank you, you can tell them yes, you can tell them let me think about it. But in this regard, I'm telling you that I am in Oka and committed to Oka and working with Oka. And any decision to work with any other person, including Raila and Ruto, will be dependent on the thinking and the decision of Oka as an outfit.
Thank you very much.
We need a united Kenya, and a united Kenya will not be achieved through exclusivity. It will be achieved through inclusivity. There's no bad politician in Kenya. There's no good politician in Kenya. We just have politicians in Kenya. And situations can bring them together and can make this country better governable, better focused, and more prosperous in terms of what we want to do for our people.